Please don't read this story sucks.
It sucks. Hey guys, Caleb here, and we're still reading My Inner Life. It sucks. However, we need to finish reading it, so we have Hushcho, True Blue Fuse, and Hawkeye back with us.
In hell.
Yes, we are in hell.
Strength in numbers, I suppose.
So hopefully with 4 of us here, it's not too confusing, and we can get through a whole lot, hopefully.
Sorry.
So, who wants to start first?
Oh, we're gonna Fujisho will start.
Okay.
I will.
Unless you don't want to, I'll start first.
I can. Who goes after me? Is it Blue?
Well, it was last night. It was me, Blue. No, it was me, Hushcho, and Blue. So we could do that order and then just tack Hawkeye on the end of it.
Yeah, you could just tack me on at the end.
Okay, well, I'll start, man.
It's nothing I'm not used to.
Get in the back of the log, bitch.
Well, that just means I can use the 3 of you as meat shields,
Pretty much.
Hey. We're all in this together.
Well, I got 2.
That's what you think.
Yeah, but somebody gets all the crap at the end. Ho ho.
Well,
yeah, I mean, you are behind everyone.
So, just saying.
Okay, let's get started, unfortunately.
Who's beginning?
I am.
You? Okay, you. Okay.
It's me, you, Blue, and then Hawk. Back in Hyrule. Welcome home. How was thy honeymoon? The king questioned. We had the time of our lives. Link winked, and a grin happened upon his face.
By the way, to catch Hawkeye up, they went on an extremely self-indulgent honeymoon and dinner, which he neglected because he had to come up and fuck Jenna. And we decided that since the honeymoon cottage was never down because they neglected to pay any attention to dinner, so that any references to is that's what it was.
So a grin just happened upon his face, just because. It was very beautiful. Thank you so much, I said, hugging the king tightly. I really enjoyed the time with Link. Just then Zelda spoke up. A fairy from the forest has sent word that the great Deku tree wants to speak with you both. Link and I exchanged glances. The great Deku tree has summoned us? I said as I looked back at Zelda. Yes, the word came in this morning. Link looked at me with a confused look. We had better not keep the great Deku tree waiting, Link inquired.
He didn't inquire. He's not asking a question. He's not finding out about anything.
What is he going to... Wait, keep the great... So, exactly what else could the great tree? Like, where's he going to go?
Well, he's got a lot of things to do being a tree. Pollinate and grow leaves
and fuck people.
Stuff. And fuck people.
Jenna, my daughter, I will have one of your horses saddled and brought to you. I nodded, and then the king and Princess Zelda returned to the castle. Because they weren't in the castle to start with.
After a few minuets, a stable hand came with my brown mare, Star Dancer, air quotes. Link helped me up into the saddle, then mounted Epona.
That poor horse.
I know. It's the most unsatisfying sex scene. Link gently booted Epona, which is very rude, and she took off at a gallop. Insert here the lecture about how no horse should ever gallop, or else they're out of control, that I said some time ago. I then followed. We headed to Kokiri Forest. It was not a long ride, but we had to make haste. As we arrived at the entrance to the Kokiri forest, Saria was there to greet us. You made it! The great Deku tree is waiting, Saria said as we dismounted. I will have your horses attended to. Please go on. We each exchanged looks, then entered the Kokiri village. All of the Kokiri watched us as we made our way through. Then, when this like what was that, Village of the Damned, with all the children just sort of watching silently, waiting to strike. Anyway, then when we reached the entrance to the Great Deku Tree's meadow, Mido, the Kokiri leader, was waiting. You must hurry, the Great Deku Tree is waiting, as we've previously stated, Mido said as he ushered us onward. We walked down the path and into the meadow.
As we stood in front of the great Deku tree, he awoke from his slumber. Link and Jenna, thou'st has arrived. I have great news for thee. Link and I sat down on the grass and awaited for the great Deku tree's news. Link, the hero of time, in quotes, because it's not true, apparently. Thou art courageous. Ye saved Hyrule and hast taken a wife. Probably why the aforementioned quotes were there.
Yeah, well, you know, it does take a lot of courage, though, to
pick pick Jenna as a wife. To pick wife as Jenna. That's what as I was trying to say.
It would make more sense than a lot of the sentences in this.
Yes.
So, Jenna, thou art spiritual. When is she even shown to be spiritual?
Never.
not.
Ye lost thy family, then began a vagabond's journey. Thou hast taken a husband. No shit. Shall ye?
And you basically called her like a hobo. Good job, Great Deku Tree. Thanks. You got away with words there, honey.
I'm honestly pretty glad about hearing anyone insult her in the actual story. So, yeah. I mean, it's a nice change of pace.
It is a nice change of pace. And what's kind of sad, though, is that she probably thought it sounded good and didn't quite realize that it's kind of not very flattering to her.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. Shall ye seek the blessing of child? I turned to Link, and we exchanged smiles and said yes. Because, like, you know what? Never mind. Since Hyrule is at peace now, things are well. But the desert man, racist, may come someday return.
Can you not just say Ganon?
Exactly. I give each of ye a guardian fairy to protect ye.
Oh, God.
Just then, two fairies, one with a pink aura and one with a blue aura, flew over to us.
My urge to slap someone is...
I cannot believe that fairies really exist. And how long have you been in Hyrule?
Also,
Just wait.
okay.
She's been at a banquet earlier filled with them.
Okay, something I didn't think to cover before we started is this is apparently a lucid dream she's having. So she has her real life, which is our world, you know, the author writing this story. And then she has her inner world, which is where my inner life comes from.
Oh, of course.
So these are supposed to... Yeah.
However, as I think Blue pointed out while we were discussing this yesterday, I don't think this really is a lucid dream.
No.
I think she just made that shit up so that she could say people shouldn't criticize her for having it, because she tries to establish this character she supposedly has. And yet she also has all these massive inconsistencies. And it's just not explained. So, but I mean, my opinion of it was that obviously she's writing this for other people to read, not as a diary of her own experiences. So if you're writing this for someone, be consistent within at least your own premise.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't make myself have that expectation of people who write this kind of story. Just like no expectations of actual good writing here.
Oh, you're in for quite a treat.
We'll see. I cannot believe that fairies really exist, even though I thought to myself, we don't know if that thought is connected with the previous one. I watched as the blue fairy flew over to Link. Long time no see, Link. Link looked at the fig. Navi, my old friend, I have missed you too. How last we saw each other? Link inquired. Oh, wow. Oh, great.
I'm sorry.
Hawk, you broke up while reading all of that.
You're cutting off from me.
What?
You really broke up while reading that, Link. I mean...
Hey, you leave me out of this story.
I'm sorry.
Just then 2 fairies, one with a pink aura and one with a blue aura, flew over to us. I cannot believe that fairies really exist, I thought to myself, even though I've already seen a ton. I watched as the blue fairy flew over to Link. Hey, listen, long time no see, Link. How I have missed you. Link looked over at the fairy and smiled big. Navi, my old friend, I have missed you too. How have you been since last we saw each other? Link inquired to the blue fairy. That's not how that word works. Oh, great. Oh, great. I see you have taken a wife.
Navi is instantly my favorite character in this.
Yes.
Oh, great. I've heard of her.
Oh, great.
She's a bitch.
Unnecessary quote break. I see you have taken a wife. She is truly beautiful, Link. I don't think this person understands how quotes work. That's really throwing me off.
We did go over this in an earlier video.
Yeah.
Damn it. Okay, well.
No, I think this is just like every character speaking in the entire world. Going on, this is how much of a Mary Sue Jenna is.
Yeah, it's just there's a quote break for every sentence, and that's throwing me off a little bit, even more so than usual, because everything else looks, relatively okay syntax-wise. You two will make beautiful children together. The fairy smiled.
Why is this always an issue with people? Why is everybody fucking obsessed with fucking breeding? I swear to God, it's like everybody shares Jenna's creepy obsession with what kind of kids they're gonna have.
I still think the fairies from Ocarina of Time are pedophiles or something.
Yeah, well, it's a biological thing, but yeah, I can understand where that would get old.
Well, considering the fact that she knew Jenna had just met Link before she thought, he'll give me great, strong children.
Oh, so that's an obsession of hers. That's what I get for joining
ridiculous,
in the middle of the
and
story.
it's really unsettling to me. And it's just like everybody somehow shares this fixation with, oh, you're going to have beautiful children. Oh, are you going to have children? Oh, I guess you're going to have children. Oh, you're having children.
I guess
How about
you're
you
right,
shut up?
Because even in the past 4 paragraphs, there's been a relative amount of obsession with that.
I know. It's ridiculous. Like, why would the Great Deku Tree, who should have better things to do,
Like being a tree.
being
a fucking tree.
Yeah, a fucking tree. Pollinating, growing leaves, possibly fruit, having orgies, who knows? But when the Great Deku Tree summons you, it's not, hey, so how's it going? Are you going to have kids?
When are you going to give me grandchildren?
I know, that's exactly it. It's just like, what is wrong with you? Do you not have anything better to do with your time?
No, I'm
as
a fucking
the
tree.
great guardian of the forest.
Yeah, the great guardian of the forest, the fucking tree. Has nothing better to do with his time, I guess, since Ganon was defeated.
I'm the goddamn tree man.
Makes as much.
Anyway,
I wonder if they're going to have kids by the end of this.
I don't know.
I wonder. I guess we just
I
have
don't know,
to see
because
them find
they
out.
haven't really talked about having kids much up until now.
They never seem to. They just. When I was starting reading this, I was just like, that was one thing that above all other things was on my mind. Are they going to have children? That's just so important to me when I'm reading a story about a fucking Mary Sue and Link.
Yes. So wait, which one is the? Never mind. which one is the fairy again?
Link?
Yeah, that was the implication, but thank you for saying it out loud. So the fairy smiled at Link, then flew over to me, the pink one behind her. Wow, that sentence structure. Anyway, as the fairy hovered in front of me, her blue aura seemed so beautiful, so peaceful. My name is Navi, and this is Lily. Well, that's an inspired name. Hello, the pink fairy said. We will be the guardian fairies for Link and you from now on. Navi inquired. What? What?
Navi didn't
Hang on,
inquire
wait.
anything.
We will be the guardian fairies for Link and you from now on, Navi inquired. That's definitely not how that word works.
Not to mention, Navi's already Link's guardian fairy.
Yeah. This. All right, pressing on. It's really weird. I'm not really as concerned with the content of the story now, just as the fact that the wording is just not working for me.
Yeah, I think all three of us have pretty much gotten past that point.
Yeah, well, I cannot believe I was getting a fairy again with the not. Every time you say you don't believe in fairies, there's a fairy that falls down dead, and it's not going to be yours because you're the Mary Sue, but whatever.
Hey,
they were only
clap
told
your hands, if you clap your hands and believe.
if you flip this person off.
Actually,
I got two fingers for you.
I think we should all summon all the fairies that we can, and everybody flips Jenna off.
That sounds
Yes!
like a
Just
great
say,
idea.
kiss my ass, you motherfuckers!
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Kiss my
Motherfuckers!
Motherfuckers!
This conversation is already better than the story.
Pretty much.
Yeah, a little thing about the clap your hands and the believing in fairies thing. A lot of that was developed for the stage production.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So that was so it would have some sort of audience participation.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
If you didn't know, you know now. Still more interesting than the story.
Yes.
Yep.
And
Well,
we're
what is
going
it?
about
Absolutely.
it as off
That's
topic as usual, so.
Yeah. Well, just as we're saying, anything's better than the
Yes.
story.
So,
But still a
cannot
better love story than Twilight? I think not.
well,
Maybe.
it's sort of a coin flip.
Yeah.
They were only told in storybook tales where I came from, but as I looked at Navi and Lily, I was glad they were not just myths. I was glad to have a fairy partner. You already had a fairy partner, if you know what I mean.
But I mean, look at this phrasing too. I was glad to have a fairy partner. What were you before? Resentful? Like,
Yeah.
if you'd had one before, then would you have hated them? Would you have been like, oh, I fucking hate fairies, motherfucker? Like, what is the attitude? That phrasing is so awkward. Just like every phrasing in this goddamn story. Every phrasing is awkward.
Yes.
Yep.
Or redundant, or stupid, or not the way a word works.
Well, I finally mined through this paragraph, so...
Oh, that's right, you did, didn't you?
Yay, we
Congratulations, you've
Okay,
finally reached the end.
I'm not saying anything. I don't want to jinx it. I'm going to shut up and just read my lines. Navi then flew back over to Link, and Lily came over to me. Hello, Jenna. It's nice to meet you. You already said hello. Lily said as she hovered in front of me. As I looked at the pink fairy, I was glad that she was my guardian. You said this already.
Yeah.
Lily, I think we are going to be good friends. As do I, Lily responded. Then I got up and went over to Link. I threw my arms around him and looked
And
into
snapped his neck, hopefully.
God.
Out of his misery, please.
his eyes seemed to glow in the sunlight. Okay. I laid my head against his chest and
Does this every damn time.
against his chest and begun to think to myself, a guardian fairy. I would have never dreamed.
Even though that's the entire premise of this entire story.
Why are we just making like random one-liner statements?
Well, and she's also restating the things that it's like these entire paragraphs are just restating what she's already said in the paragraphs just previous.
Yeah.
This chapter would be like 2 paragraphs long if she would cut out the fucking redundant statements that she'd already said.
Pretty much. A guardian fairy I would have never dreamed. It is not a myth, it is real, and I am very lucky.
God. Just then, the great Deku tree, which is oddly capitalized now, spoke again once more. Thou art courageous, and thou art spirit. Oh God!
You already said this.
Pretty much. That, such as the redundant nature of Jenna.
Thou art courageous, and thou art spiritual. Thou art spiritual will be protected if the desert.
You got that too, right? Alrighty.
I think the great Deku tree is pulling words out of his ass or roots or
his roots.
I
Yeah.
think the great Deku tree has got some sap crossed or something. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe he's
Link's pinged him too many times with the hook shot.
maybe the Kokiri elves raise a special crop, if you know what I mean, and they're kind of smoking too much.
They probably. I mean, their entire I'm wondering why they always seem to be eternally youthful.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. They got that Hyrulean ganj.
That and there are ghosts all over their temple. Maybe they're all just hallucinations.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe they dropped too. I mean, who knows? Maybe the Kokiri are really fucked up. Maybe they're just fucked up all time. And Link just somehow managed not to get into it. Or maybe that's why he doesn't speak. Maybe he just had a really bad trip and he couldn't speak after that, so he just sort of makes noises.
They're fucking fairies, man.
It's like that. Well, and his biological makeup is actually not the same as the actual denizens of the Kokiri Forest. So maybe he tried to smoke the same herbs and it just completely fucked him up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe it just completely fucked him up, so he wasn't able to really speak after that, and so he can just make noises and stuff. And he's very innocent and very naive, and I mean,
Kind of a toolbox.
Maybe it just really fucked him up. Well, it certainly fucked him up in this story.
Oh my God, we need to send these theories to Miyamoto. Do that right now.
No, people on Tumblr will get a hold of them and they'll turn them into something needlessly angsty. Yeah. Dear Mr. Miyamoto, we have an idea. It involves lots of drugs. Possibly a fucking tree. Being Japanese, this should be well in keeping.
Oh, and you'll be playing as a Mary Sue named Jenna, who pretty much bangs one of your most beloved characters.
And fucks him up. Really.
By the way, that comment was not meant to be offensive to the Japanese, because I used to work with doujinshi artists, so I know that it was an inside joke. I'm sorry if anybody found it offensive, but there is a lot of.
Hey, it can't be any more offensive than when I confuse speciesist with racist, and also when during Sexy Santa when I did that whole Asian sounding broken English thing when Alice was talking about her brother working at a car company in Japan, something like that.
We were all really just very tired of that story, so I'm sure if anybody were to read stories this bad, they would probably resort to the same things, and maybe everybody wouldn't find it funny, but we don't mean to be offensive, and we try not to be offensive. But sometimes it just happens, and I know some people will get offended, but please don't, because it's unintended, and you probably don't know the whole story, so there you go. Now, where the hell was I? Yeah. Let's see. Dum-dum-dum-dum. Thou art spiritual will be protected if the desert man should ever return.
Even though he doesn't.
Yeah. Then your guardian fairies will help protect ye.
Here it comes.
Well, now hast thy firstborn, Return to see me.
No, they can't because Ruto already has dibs on the first baby.
Hmm? Wait,
Yeah.
when was this established?
Ruto.
In the letter
Yeah.
when
in
they
the stupid
were on their
out-of-character
honeymoon.
letter.
Oh, right, yeah.
The letter supposedly written by Ruto, although anybody could have really written it and signed her name and prepared this meal. But yeah, maybe Ruto actually didn't write any of this and it was just a very cruel trick. And when they go and see her, she'll just go crazy and kill Jenna. We can hope, right? We can hope. Keep hope alive.
Well, she was supposed to be our hero to stop this madness.
Yeah, I would like Ruto to be the hero to stop this madness and put an end to the great national ordeal that Hyrule has had to endure with Jenna. With his words spoken, the great Deku Tree returned to his slumber.
I'm assuming that means he died again.
Maybe he didn't really die. Maybe he was just really sleepy, and the Kokiri didn't want anybody to bother them for a while.
Well, wasn't he like dead isn't he dead in canon?
Well, the old Great Deku Tree passed away, but it's also canon that a new one sprouted.
All right. Almost forgot about that one.
Cycle of life, whatever, what the fuck ever. There wasn't that much consideration put into this series.
It's a tree. I mean, it's just it's gonna reproduce.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, it
Probably
is a fucking
reduced
tree.
many trees.
It's
Sorry,
a fucking
that
tree.
that
Like, I mean,
joke's old
that's-
now.
It's old, but
Well,
we're
so
still
is the
going to use
tree.
it. Look, jokes about shit are still old, but we still use them. We're still harping on shit, so...
Well, I don't think that's less that we're harping on it and more we can't get away from it.
Well, most people do it,
I still need
Well-
my Care Bears.
I don't think there are enough Care Bears in the world to soothe this story.
Maybe if we took ourselves to care a lot.
Maybe if there was a Care Bears fan fiction where that involved a high amount of shit. Let's just say that. Because I'm pretty certain there is.
Let's have a Care Bears fan fiction where they go into my inner life and save Link and Hyrule.
That would be the best fan fiction ever.
And they do
Actually,
a Care
if
Bear
somebody
stare and
just-
reveal her evil self.
That
And
would be pretty awesome.
Like, someone needs to write that. Anyone who's viewing this, if you write that, you will win 10 billion awesome points.
yeah, and we will read it on the actual show as a tie-in. I will guarantee.
Yes.
Just don't do any of the things that we won't read. But
Yeah.
but yeah, if you write a
You
a
remember that I think it was chapter 39 where Ebony died, Inobi died, and she went
Yes.
to hell. Something like that.
Yes, please. Someone needs to do this for great justice.
For great justice.
What you say?
Well, I
So,
think it's a good idea.
Awkward silence.
Sorry, I think it's just more the aversion of not wanting to go back to this goddamn story.
I'm sorry, Joe. I told you could bail if you wanted.
No, I'm not going to bail. I'm not going to bail. I'm too invested. We're almost 30% through.
here's your pickaxe. Get to it.
You ain't got a diamond one, but we're working on it. Shut up and get back
Okay.
to work.
Oh, wait, let me whip the souls of the damned. Okay, I'm okay now.
Wow.
Their
That's what you do to
tears
cheer yourself up, huh?
Yes.
Their tears are so sweet.
Look, dude, we are in hell. What do you think we're gonna do with our time to make ourselves feel better?
It's not that hot.
I'm pretty much just chilling with Lucifer right now. Don't know what you're talking about. I'm just waiting for you guys.
Well, we do things because we feel like we have to, like we should do something around this place,
Well, I tried to decorate the place with a little bit of blood and entrails and, skulls, but, yeah. I mean,
Weren't
it's
those the
hell. What you
ones?
really gonna do?
Weren't those the ones though that you found out were just like made of jello?
Yeah, so they kind of all melted, but
Yeah. I thought I remembered something like that. It looked like something like the aftermath of a Lucio Fulci film.
mm,
I don't remember where I was. I'm sorry. I've been
uh,
trying to save the time to get away.
let's see.
Okay, I've got it. I've
Your
got it. Okay.
firstborn. Okay.
I found it. I held Link's hand, right? Right? That was
Uh,
where it was.
no.
Okay. No?
No, it's
Yeah, it is. I
her-
held Link's hand.
their
Okay.
firstborn, and then with the. Oh, what's
Yeah,
okay? Yeah. My bad.
Yeah. Okay. I held Link's hand as I looked at the two fairies. This is truly a great gift the great Deku tree has given us. Then I looked back at Link, and he nodded in agreement. Link
Because
and
he
I
has
then
no
kissed.
opinion of his own.
Who does?
Nobody has any opinion of their own. Everyone must share the opinion of Jenna. Jenna, we must obey Jenna.
Oh hell, Jenna.
One of
Oh,
us.
yes,
Sorry.
Jenna.
You will be consumed by the great Jenna.
I love it. I love it. Link and I then kissed before we started for home. When we returned to Kokiri village, all of the Kokiri, especially Saria, wanted to know what the great Deku tree told us. We said nothing much. Saria's eyes widened when we told her we had our own fairies because she couldn't see that for herself.
No, because she was pretty freaking.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
I guess we
that's
have
right.
established that. Even more so when she found out Navi returned to Link.
Good job. Now pass the pickaxe.
Okay, here I go. That is great news, Saria says cheerfully.
Oh, I
It is-
forgot to do the Valley Girl voice for...
Oh well,
I'll do
we'll
it
do
next.
it from now on.
Yeah, I keep forgetting.
It is great to see that Navi has returned. Link nodded and a smile crossed his face. How come they get fairies? They're not even Kokiri, a voice called from behind. Just then, the headstrong Mido approached us. What makes them so special to get their own fairies? Mido,
They're-
pretty.
Obviously.
Saria turned and looked at Mido Square in the face. Link is the hero of time. He is special, and so is his wife for some reason.
Yeah,
As
that doesn't really extend over, especially since they're putting drama quotes around hero of time like he isn't really. Link is the hero of time.
Right. Well, she obviously doesn't know how quotes work.
well, yeah.
No, there's like an overuse of them.
Yeah, there definitely is.
As the sage of the forest, I hereby order your execution for questioning Jenna. You will be sentenced to 5,000 days of torture, followed by being raped by the Deku tree.
Wait, leave
Oh,
me
God.
out of this.
But really, okay.
You know what really feels like 5,000 days of torture followed
The
by
story.
God.
Secretary?
Okay. I remember what Ganon said as we sealed him in the Sacred Realm. He cursed that he would one day get revenge on Link or his descendants.
Or
Because, like,
decedents?
Whoa, decedents.
Yes.
Well, like, or his descendants? Like, why does it, I guess he doesn't care about, I guess he has to pick and choose. Can't just do both.
Maybe he's just being pragmatic, you know. Maybe he's saying, well, I'll try and get revenge on Link, but if I can't get out of the Sacred Realm in time, I'll definitely beat the crap out of his descendants.
Yeah. Okay, that makes perfect sense.
Mhm.
More sense than was probably given to the actual statement, but
Link has already confided in me that he and his new wife plan on having children.
Why in the hell? Why in the hell would Link confide anything in Mido? Mido's never been anything but an
I think
asshole
we mean
to him.
Saria, not Mido.
Yeah.
But seriously, why does this even matter? Why is this always being brought up? Every fucking person brings this up. Every person seems to think it's relevant. It's not relevant. Keep your
Well-
mind to yourself. Stop. It's creepy. It's so creepy.
I will say that in a better story, we would have established that they, like adults, talked to each other and decided to have kids. No, not like this creepy breeder program she's trying to have, but they legitimately fell in love and talked about having kids. And if Ganon said this, I could understand that this would be a concern and maybe they'd want to do something that would give their kids protection. But
Right.
instead, we have this stupid story.
Yeah, instead we have it being brought up by every single person who encounters them at any given time. It gets really creepy.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm with Blue. I'm just like let's just go.
They
Sorry,
will
ranting
need-
done.
They will need protection if Ganon should ever return.
You know, they'll need protection. I think they should use protection because then their
That's-
Yeah, wait,
descendants
didn't
won't be in.
somebody melt the shield though? Like with a like when they were having sex?
Oh yeah,
that's
right, a
right.
light cry. Like a new breed.
Well, maybe Link can boil his balls or something. Who knows?
So that's
Wow.
how the water got so hot, like
Someone that has to suffer.
he would go after Link and his family first. Saria's eyes narrowed as her high began to wear off. She then took another puff. As she confronted Mido. Saria was always protective of Link, and even more so when Mido tried to get smart. I'd say that smart is being sassy, but I think in this case he's actually being kind of smart. Like, why do they get fairies?
Yeah, aren't the fairies supposed to choose one of the Kokiri as their like partner or something?
Yeah.
Well, the Great Deku Tree did kind of order it on Link, but still.
Yeah.
That was extenuating circumstances.
The thing is, I would take Mido more seriously if it wasn't already heavily established that he's an asshole.
Pretty much. I watched as she faced off with Mido.
Although, to be honest, anybody that opposes Jenna or questions her has got my support.
Yeah, except Mido, because I hate his guts.
I think this is Mido's redemption in fanfiction form.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't know. Two people being assholes does not redemption make. When Mido saw the fire burning in Saria's eyes, oh man, they're really stoned now. He
Then
knew to
came-
back off. Whoa, that's enough for me, dudes.
Yeah. Then came those patterns that sort of shift in color, and it's just you can get
I can
assassinated
taste the
with
colors,
spot-
dude.
Taste the
And then the
rainbow,
motion
motherfucker.
trails.
Well, they still don't deserve it, grumble, grumble. Wait, did I just say grumble, grumble out loud, dudes? Where are the Doritos, man? I gotta sit down for a little bit.
Oh, the Mountain Dew.
And then Mido walked off.
Dude, Funyuns.
Well,
Onions, dude.
that guy really had an axe to grind. That was so hardcore, man. I thought somebody was gonna die.
Saria watched as he went. I'm sorry for all that trouble. I guess he never got over what happened 8 years ago. That is a long time to hold a grudge. No.
Also, well, we're getting passage of time crap because
Right.
she decided arbitrarily that time passed differently for some people than it did for others.
What? Never mind. I'm not I'm not.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
Really, I was really confused by this too.
I'm
Yeah,
just,
she,
you know,
she
I'm
pretty
just.
much she pretty much dictated that time passed differently for pretty much everyone, and then time passed differently for Link, and time passed differently for Zelda as well, and like
Double time? I don't know.
Well, rather than try to figure it out, I'm just gonna cut the Gordian knot and decide not to give a shit.
yeah, but cutting the Gordian knot was a mistake.
I don't even
Yeah.
know what that means.
Neither do I.
It's a reference to Alexander the Great. It was said that whoever were to undo the Gordian knot would become like ruler of the world, basically. And instead of actually solving the Gordian knot, which was a massive knot that no one could untie, he cut through it. And instead of being, a great gesture, his cutting of the Gordian knot, rather than trying to solve it and succeeding, was kind of, it tends to be viewed as, well, this was kind of what sort of started the downhill. Anyway, this is beside...
Personally, I love it. I'm just like, yeah, fuck that noise. Shink.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Rain the Conqueror?
Mm-mm.
It was called Alexander Senki in Japan. It was good up until they got to Persia, up until the defeat of Darius. But it was actually kind of neat. It was done by Peter Chung, the dude that did Aeon Flux. But I mean, like, if you see like the film version, which is pretty good, it's just like a couple of hours of compilation. But I mean, you could watch the TV series up until they get to defeating Darius. It's pretty much crap. But the first part, most of it is really good. I think it's like episode 10 or something like that. Maybe it's episode 8 or 9. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But if you like the history of Alexander the Great, it's a pretty interesting take on it.
I like Otter Pops. Alexander the Grape.
That's pretty great.
Yes.
I need to have Otter Pops. I haven't had Otter Pops in ages.
I've
Yeah,
never even heard
man,
of
no,
Otter
it's
Pops.
hot in here. I want Otter Pops. Well, anyway. I guess he'll never get over it, she said as she placed her hand gently on Link's. She placed her hand gently on Link's. That's wow. I would, if I was a newlywed and like if I saw, my husband just suddenly casually holding hands with another woman, that would set off some warning bells. But anyway.
Well, with Jenna, I don't even think. Actually, I don't think we see Saria much more after this, if at all.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened
I
to
wouldn't
her.
know.
Well, she died.
So she really did get jealous. She actually had Saria killed.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will always remain your friend, Link, not matter what. I will also help protect you and your family should Ganon ever return. I promise, Saria said as she looked over at me.
Oh,
And
good. You'll help protect them, meaning you'll get captured instantly and
Yes.
contribute almost nothing to the...
And I
Sorry.
knew I believed her. So okay.
Well, I hope you know you believe her.
So you have to double check yourself to find out what you believe.
Seriously, I thought I believed her, but I wasn't quite sure if I really did or not. I had to think about it for a while.
She would go to the
It's
end of
okay
the
to
earth for
believe.
Link, and I would make sure she did.
What were you saying, Cassie?
Oh, I was just adding on to the, and I knew I believed her, where she had to make sure. I was just adding on to that. It doesn't matter. It was dumb.
Well, actually, now that I think about it, Saria actually does appear later, so sadly she is not killed off. So,
Actually, wouldn't that be really bad if one of the sages died?
well,
Yeah, but everything about this story is bad.
True.
That's true.
yeah, pretty
So
much.
maybe she did send her to the end of the earth, and that's why it took so long for her to come back.
So, you know what? Just release the seal on Ganon. What's going on? We've decided that you ruling the world is better than all this bullshit.
Well, so far, Ganon seems to make a lot more sense than anybody.
And Ganon just shut. Okay.
Actually, I don't even think Ganon's been mentioned this entire time.
Until
Ganon.
now, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
that's just an alternate spelling of Ganon. Both of those spellings have been used in the Zelda
they
universe.
have been used,
They
but
have been?
generally the double N is viewed as not correct.
The double N was first used in the original Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
That's what
Did
it was
not know
very
that.
originally spelled. Yep.
Oh,
And
so
it was shortened, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think it was shortened so that it would make the name Ganondorf make more sense, but I'm not sure.
No, it actually was. It was actually Ganon pretty much every time after that one instance in the original game. In fact, I think it was just that one.
Mm-hmm.
One time it appeared, but then even in that game, I want to say there were other appearances of it where it was just Ganon.
Yeah.
But don't quote me on that because it's been forever since I played it. But I know that after the first game, at least, it was never Ganon.
Yeah, which always sort of rubbed me the wrong way because I always preferred that spelling, but that's just a personal opinion. Let's see. She would go to the edge of the earth for Link, and that made me feel better as well, so that hussy would stay away from my man. We spent some time there while Link said some temporary quote-unquote goodbyes, implying murder.
He'll never return. I'll burn the entire forest down.
they're really good buys.
He had to get something straight between himself and Mido. What?
As I said and
I know
talked
we
with...
won't see Mido again.
I'm done. Someone else's turn now. Ah!
When it started to get late, we decided it was time to settle into our new home. Link wanted me to see it while there was still light. Oh yes, they built a house in the Lost Forest.
Yes.
Yeah, I doubt there's going to be that much light in there anyway. Though.
Yeah, that's the best place to build a house. Like, wait.
Let's sit here and watch these ghosts as they do their fucking dance, and maybe we can figure out how to get through here.
Who's that
I'm so
homeless guy we
lost,
just
I'm
saw
so
over
lost. How the fuck do I get out?
Like seriously, you'd think that it would get old really fast when you're trying to go home and you're like,
Yeah.
God damn it, I gotta watch the goddamn dancing ghosts again every damn time.
Well, and there's always that music going on as well.
Yes.
No, it's like you're trying to go to sleep. It's like 11 p.m. and it's like you're just now nodding off, and then suddenly do 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 do.
God damn it, shut up,
Sorry,
Harry.
at least.
You throw a shoe at him, but it doesn't help because it goes.
Wait, actually, now that I think about it, wouldn't this be a horrible place to raise children, which they've been repeatedly talking about?
Yes, it would. It's like our children got lost. We have no idea where they are. They have no idea where they are.
And don't people who get lost in the woods become Stalfos? Don't they specifically say that if you're not?
I believe they do.
Yeah, I
Yes.
believe they do too.
And Jenna's not a. Oh God.
Yep.
This is gonna be epic.
Okay.
Before she becomes okay, who am I kidding? She's a freaking Sue. That ain't gonna happen.
If this story could be that good, I would be willing to forgive it if she turned into a Stalfo.
Then sorry. Should I keep reading?
Go right
Yes.
ahead.
Then Saria went to fetch our horses because we couldn't
because
go
she's-
get them ourselves.
Yeah.
Wait, and isn't Epona also not trusting of anyone but Saria? I mean, but Link,
But Link or
Alan.
Malin. Yeah.
When she came back, we mounted and headed for Lost Woods.
Less said about that, the better.
Yes.
Link and I waved goodbye just before we disappeared into the tunnel leading to the Lost Woods.
If only they disappeared.
Yeah,
Or at least Jenna.
funny.
We made our way through the maze of trees and into the large clearing. There stood the most beautiful house I had ever seen.
You know, everything is always the most beautiful she had ever seen.
Yes.
Get over it. It's not that great. It's like some mud and some sticks.
It's like, well, and Link's just like, well, I had to figure out something to do with all these damn Deku sticks.
It's a lean-to. Yeah,
Hospital problem?
Hospital's problem. Yes, exactly. The hospital's problem.
I don't
Everything
get it.
is the most beautiful she'd ever seen. It's the most grand I'd ever seen. It's heavenly body. My beautiful body. It's
Heavenly
drug-
naked body.
Heavenly naked body. Drug my nails down his buttock.
What?
This Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Coming this summer, Jenna strikes back.
Oh God!
In a world.
Oh, jeez.
In another world.
It's the sequel,
Wait, you're trying to get out of reading again.
it's the sequel to A New Hope. Jenna Strikes Back.
I'm onto your game.
No. We don't want that. We don't fucking want that. We don't need it. Please don't.
Do not want. Do not want. Okay, anyway. My eyes were transfixed on the house as I dismounted. I ran up to the front of the house and looked it over. There was a white gate at the front with a fence that ran all the way around the house because, of course, it would be a white picket fence.
I just want to say something. During the entire time this house was being constructed, she never once went there to look at it until now.
I know, right?
Look, she couldn't be asked to do it. She had better things to do, like diddling herself in Hyrule Castle.
And fantasizing about all of her beautiful
And
children.
the concubine of the king.
Oh
Yeah.
Lord.
And shoving her mail up her ass.
Yeah, that's how it gets.
Well,
finished.
yeah, that's pretty much what she's been doing this whole time. She's been shoving her mail, aka Link,
Mm-hmm.
up her ass.
You
I knew that
I
was
just
coming.
realized something.
What?
I just realized something. Well, you know how in several of the games there's like Dark Link, and in some of them there's like links of other colors and such?
Oh, spoiler alert.
Maybe this is the evil Link.
It's now a bad time to mention that that's not actually seen later.
Oh, God. Well, I had hope.
You had hope. Oh, that's cute.
Fuck you!
Buy me
No,
dinner
really.
first.
Oh, and shortly after Dark Link's entrance, it gets worse.
Well, I hope so, because this honestly has not been that bad so far. I'm waiting for things to
The
get
hell
better.
with- It
Oh,
hasn't.
if you had been with us since the beginning, you would be saying otherwise.
Well,
This-
then let's get through this so it can get worse.
This is seriously worse than Star Turds. I'm not even hesitating to say this. It is worse than Star Turds. This
Yeah.
is the Star Turd. This is the Star Turd of the firmament.
No, I really did.
Heaven of hell.
It was possible to get worse than Star Turds. I mean, for me, this is worse than Star Turds for different reasons other than it's gross. Mostly because the author is kind of a dick. The main
What is this
character is
kind?
kind of a dick. Doesn't know what they're talking about. Goes out of their way to make themselves high and mighty while saying we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. We're just assholes. And I'm like, no, you really don't know what you're doing. You're just talking in circles and think you know what you're talking about. And then this fucking thing is 94 pages.
Yes.
You know, you've admitted that this was worse than Star Turds a lot sooner than I thought you would.
No, I started thinking of it like, the second time we tried to record some of this?
No,
But-
I was actually thinking it in the author's note. It was that bad. And then we started it and I was like, yeah, this really is that bad.
I mean, I knew it was going to be fucking long, but good lord. And then I was
this
so
is-
mad once we were reading the author's notes.
Yeah,
We ain't even a fourth done yet.
No.
I normally don't get this angry at the stories. I mean, I had my moment when we were reading that one about the Harry Potter people and the Lord of the Rings people. That eventually whittled away at my patience. But
Yeah.
this one is like nails on a chalkboard.
It's unrepentingly like in your face. I'm gonna be a dick to you, and you're gonna like it, whether you like it or not. That's what this story is.
Whether you like it or not, you're going to like it.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what is so vexing about it.
And on top of that, the writing is just so dry that it takes 4 people to make this shit interesting. And I don't think we've even read much.
We really haven't.
We haven't. We've gone through like 2 sets.
It is contemptible. It is utterly contemptible. Wait, I was reading, wasn't I? Yes. I was.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I just.
Yeah, we haven't even gone through 10 paragraphs yet.
Yeah, I just raged at the picket fence, with a white picket fence.
That's the subject of your ire? Really?
Yes, it is.
Oh, trust me, it has a few of your will not do's coming up.
Oh, good God.
They're brief, though, to be perfectly fair. And I think it's only Cassie's. Or Caleb, sorry, whatever.
It's fine, I don't care which one you call me.
Yeah.
I mean, it really depends on how far it goes. I mean, something like Star Turds, no.
Not that far, to be fair.
Well, then it should be fine. I mean, I'm already spoiled to it if it's what you're talking about is what I'm thinking of. Because I accidentally got spoiled to it, and then I found out it was actually part of this story, and I was like, oh, okay.
Okay, then.
White picket
A
fence.
stable.
Sorry.
A stable for horses was on the right side, so he built them a stable. A pen for sheep and pigs just off to the side near the front.
Are there even any sheep or pigs? You know what? I'm not even going to question.
So he built them a farmhouse in like a month?
He built them
apparently.
farm. Yeah.
You got this ranch house built in a freaking, whatever.
Magic.
There was pasture behind the house, despite it being the fucking Lost Woods.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
To graze cows, which should be lon or moo-moos. Wait, it's lon, isn't it?
I didn't even know they had to. No, I think they were actually just called cows.
No, they weren't called cows, I don't think. Lon is the ranch, but there was, maybe it was moo-moos or something like that.
Well,
there was some name.
Called moo-moo milk.
Let's see.
Yeah, I think it is moo-moos because. Yeah, I'm getting the Lon Ranch mixed up with the moo-moos. But like, there was a, I think it was Mario Kart GameCube or 64 or something like that. But they had like a moo-moo.
Well, the Zelda canon and the Mario canon aren't really anywhere near linked. Like.
No. But it doesn't matter. But because they were actually called. They were actually called a specific name in the Zelda universe. They weren't called cows, I don't think. Anyway, it doesn't matter, but she obviously didn't do her research. But we've already established that.
Cows. It doesn't say that they're called anything. It just says they're cows on the Legend of Zelda Wikipedia.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's Wikipedia, so.
Anyway.
No, I do remember specifically that there was a special name for it, but oh well, it doesn't matter. We're putting more thought and care into this than Jenna did.
We're putting more thoughts into the cows.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that says too much, though. Then again, I think it actually says a lot considering what's actually here, though, so.
Yeah. I mean, she really only puts any effort when they're screwing. Everything else she describes vaguely or skips over or summarizes or... if it's not celebrating her some way or celebrating her vagina in some way, it is irrelevant.
I don't even think she puts in effort when they are screwing, just saying. Just from where I'm standing.
Well, yeah, I mean, she has that sort of dead fish kind of way about her, like she's not really so much a participant as someone that everyone comes to make come. So, I don't know. I mean, to be fair, if she really is doing a lucid dream here, she is asleep, so that really is kind of consistent with her character. But I don't think she's really doing a lucid dream. I think it's an excuse.
Yep.
So, anyway, and off to the left of the house was the well. The house itself was like a summer home.
Like the one you burnt down.
Yes.
Yeah, really. It was a light tan house with a white roof, which would be great in a forest, let me tell you. The windows were monastery style, because Link would know how to do monastery style windows. Also, monastery style in Hyrule.
Yeah.
In a cottage that this dude built with his own hands in like a month.
Yeah.
Monastery style windows. And the front door was brown with the carving of the Triforce symbol. Just below the greeting hole.
Just
The
go.
greeting hole?
The greeting hole.
You
The
can't
greeting
say
hole.
portal or the door.
The greeting hole.
And enter.
Not
That's
the
awesome.
peephole, not the mail slot, the greeting hole.
I think it is a mail slot.
If you know
The
what I
greeting
mean.
hole. Because I know in my house, the right sort of greeting hole is very important. That's what I look for. You know, you've gone over to other people's houses and inquired about their greeting hole, haven't you?
Yes. Quite
It's
awesome.
important to keep your greeting hole clear and clean.
Mm-hmm. Because you never know when you need to bend over and take your mail up your ass.
This is almost eerily consistent with our established mail sending protocol in
Yes.
Hyrule. And when I then went inside, I was nearly blown away. We should be.
Because it was actually.
No, I think she went inside the greeting hole and was blown away.
Oh God.
So she has a dick now.
Is anyone really surprised?
She calls herself Edward Elric. I'm not surprised anymore. Anyway, the entire house was furnished. Oh my God! I'm sorry. I just need to stop right here to take that all in. The house was furnished. Like, it's not like we just saw that there was like fences and monastery style windows and like freaking greeting holes and stables and shit. But furnishing. Oh my God!
Well, and it's just, it's
Holy
like,
shit,
you know,
amazing.
in this apparently rather
It's
short
lingerie.
period of time, you know, not only is this house built, you know, in a way that would take a team of professionals to actually do, you know, in that kind of period of time, but he's also apparently an artisan and can make furniture by himself as well.
You know, I kind of feel like he may have just used like the Ocarina of Time and the Master Sword to just fuck shit over and
Yeah,
go
but
to
isn't
all
that in
sorts
the
of time
Temple of
periods.
Time? Like, I
What?
don't think he has access to that. Isn't it in the Temple of Time?
Well,
Well, no, wait. They have the Ocarina.
yeah, but then again, that would make this a much more interesting story.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's obviously not true.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to put logic into something that has none.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
We're constantly trying to find ways for this to be a good story when it's not.
When
There's
that's just
a lot of
simply not
opportunities that
possible.
this could have been a really good story, but they're opportunities the author didn't care about and were wasted.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad, but it's true. There is just this flagrant disregard for any sort of thing that's brought up that could, because it's not related to her vagina, or
Right.
related to something that she wants in her vagina,
Or
or something giving her children, or something that's celebrating how great she is, because everybody loves Jenna. Everybody fucking loves Jenna.
Everybody
She
will
hasn't
love
done
Jenna.
jack to deserve it.
I
We
know.
haven't even been shown her having real relationships. She just sees Link polishing his master sword,
He
and
polishes his Master Sword.
and she's like, well, I'm gonna marry that
Oh.
dude, and we're gonna have babies, and that's it.
We have Babby now.
We've
Link,
been-
have
It
my
actually-
Babby.
It would have actually been far more interesting if, she had had this sort of thought, and it had turned out that Link wasn't interested in her, and she had to sort of, kind of come to terms with that, and be like, well, I want to find somebody who matches my ideals and who has my apparent obsession with shitting out kids. So
no one denies Jenna. No one.
Jenna, monster attack! Cannot be saved by a 100-foot Gandalf penis.
Well, is anything really saved by a 100-foot Gandalf penis? Just throw that out.
Actually, yes. It was, the entire town was saved, although we don't know what town that was or any context for it, but yeah, it was, well, the remainder of the town.
Well, actually, it was used as a graphic hook to throw up Hermione, who then whispered a really dumb kids song about dicks. The lyrics were changed to be about dicks into Harry's ear, which somehow made him sleepy. And then he shrunk down to size and just passed out.
Yes.
Well, I gotta say, songs about dicks always put me right to sleep.
And just so that Hermione could then go off with an author in session character and apparently fuck. Despite the fact that
never happened.
Hermione was only in
despite
like 2
the fact-
chapters, and that was it.
Yeah, despite the fact that the author was writing a story about like the entire male cast of Harry Potter and like the Fellowship becoming strippers who were also apparently prostitutes and having lots of sex with each other.
That's just...
I think somebody's head just hit the desk.
I'm so sorry, it was really bad
Someone's
though.
feeling blue.
Well, it'll come before this story. That was bad, Hawkeye. Shame on you.
Oh, believe me, we haven't even entered shame territory yet.
But anyway, that was
let me see how long it'll be until we do.
Oh god, just don't tell me. I don't know.
I see the words cream sauce, so probably not
No,
too long.
no.
Okay,
Anyway.
whoever was reading, I forgot. Get going so we can get this shit over with.
Okay, it was me. The living quarters, I'm only the 1 sentence in.
Oh my god, really?
The living quarters had a wooden couch with cushions, a reading chair sat beside the fireplace.
Okay, so keeping track of this, Link also is able to woodcraft to make frames for furniture, and also is an upholsterer
Yeah.
who can make cushions.
Magic.
And is competent enough to build a fireplace safely right in the middle of a forest.
Once again, magic. That's just going to be my excuse for any of the logic
A
here
wizard.
that is lacking here. There was a book. Wait, I just read that. Candles in the stand.
Did you read that?
Wait,
No,
you
you
skipped-
read about the
Yeah, you
fireplace.
skipped that.
In that case, there was a book table beside the couch with an oil lamp on it. Candles and stands stood all around the room, while oil lamps hung from the walls.
Do you mean a candelabra?
Yeah.
Okay.
Brandon, I didn't know what that was until you told me. Like,
I didn't know what that was
Well,
until
you
just
know.
now.
Till I gave you one.
yeah, pretty much. I'm like,
Oh.
that's what those are called.
In the dining quarters stood a huge wooden
How
table
is it
with
quarters?
6 chairs
It's
around
a dining
it.
room. One room to eat in. You don't have a whole bunch of them.
One room to bind them.
Oh God.
And in the darkness find them. Sorry.
What are you doing, you motherfuckers?
Get a room.
Yes, I know I'm confusing Dumbledore with Gandalf, but everybody
Who
does that. Like,
cares?
I swear,
Yeah.
that story that we read about the strippers, they kept confusing Gandalf and Dumbledore. And it was
kept
just...
confusing Gandalf and Dumbledore.
Okay, so a huge wooden table with 6 chairs around it. A small vase of flowers sat in the middle. The
So he
kitchen.
can throw ceramics as well.
Mhm.
Yep.
The kitchen had all of the cooking supplies we would ever need. There was even a torture rack on the wall.
I know I've got one in my kitchen.
Ooh, how spicy. I'm sorry.
A small ice pick was in the okay. Seriously, small ice box was in the corner of, and another small fireplace was in the back for burning sacrifices.
You know, I would point out. I mean, I know they have like the ice rod and everything. Obviously, there is ice in Hyrule, but an ice box, really? I don't know. I
You
just
don't think,
I
it
just
never
find that
struck me. Well, then again, they have a camera.
they have a camera.
Oh yeah, they do have a camera in Majora's Mask.
Oh yeah, they do actually. Yeah, you're right.
But technically, she said this story, Majora's Mask didn't happen.
Oh, true. And
Right.
isn't there also like a freezer in somewhere in Twilight Princess, even though that takes place 100 years later? So I'd imagine the technology wouldn't be that old from the way the same stuff, but who knows?
Well,
Well, I mean,
you know,
that's true.
Huh?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The concept of keeping food refrigerated, is honestly a pretty old concept. I mean, you might not like have a refrigerator in the
well, I
modern
mean,
sense, but
They used to put, like, especially in the Old West, they would get like a little cave that usually had a little stream in it, and it was very cold in there, so they'd keep their perishables there. But I mean, aside from my problem with an icebox per se, where are they going to get the stuff to replenish the ice in that, since they're in the middle of the Lost Woods? Who comes to the Lost Woods?
Well, isn't there a portal? Isn't there like a place where you can get? Actually, all things considered, the Lost Woods has probably the freshest supply of water. Like isn't it the only place? Isn't it the only place where you can get water that doesn't run under the King Zora's ass and balls?
We'll just go with yes. For
Yeah,
argument's
water.
sake, yes.
For
Well,
the
water
horror.
isn't the problem here. I mean, it's just like you would have to get the ice somewhere to supply the icebox, because an icebox, the way it works is you put a big block of ice in it,
Right.
and it keeps
Right.
the stuff that is also in the
Yeah,
in
it
the box.
basically
Usually put it in
works
the top
like
bottom.
a giant, what do you call those? I'm so derping.
Just like a
right.
giant igloo cooler, basically.
Yeah, cooler is what I'm trying to think of. I couldn't think
But,
of the word.
We'll just say Link uses his ice rod, if you know what I mean.
Uh-huh. I mean, honestly, it would make more sense if they talked about a place to, like, a cool closet or something that they have off to the side, like their pantry or something, where they have salted meats and stuff. That would make more sense, because salt's used as a preservative. And,
That's true.
And pickled things, and
Yeah,
things
and
like
canning
that.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, and it would be so much. It would be something that could add to the actual setting, rather than just saying, "Well, we had an icebox."
Well, clearly
okay,
that's
so how
why
did
it
that work?
wasn't. Because we can't have anything in this story of actual quality.
No.
I know. That's what really frustrates me about it. Like, it's not so much them having an icebox. Maybe they do have the technology, and they do have, like, ice rods. Obviously have some sort of ice magic, but everybody probably doesn't have access to that. And,
Right.
the way that it worked, it would have been much more interesting if she had taken the time to flesh out the setting a little bit and, say, well, we didn't have things exactly the same as we do in my waking world. By my waking world, I'm doing the air quotes, even though you can't see me. It would have actually seemed like she gave a fuck, which she obviously doesn't.
That would have actually been a pretty interesting story to see it transition between, like, her when she's awake and the actual, well, a little more interesting. It still would have been kind of ridiculous, but still.
It would have been kind of ridiculous, but at least it would have been, okay, we'll compare and contrast my waking world to even just some reference to it, rather than just being terribly inconsistent and saying, oh, this was a lucid dream, which is what she's
Right.
doing. I mean,
Which
even
is, as you say, is just a convenient excuse, it seems.
yeah.
Oh.
So, let's get through the rest of this paragraph.
Yeah. Okay, there was a spiral staircase that went up to the sleeping quarters. I walked up the staircase and went to see the sleeping quarters. When I reached the top, I noticed there were 5 doors. 4 were empty.
This is a big house. Holy shit.
And he could ironwork to make a fucking spiral staircase.
Or marble work, because she's got to have the best of the best. I'm just envisioning like gilded marble staircase now.
I do want to point out that we are assuming that Link built all this by himself because she never actually bothered to say if he had anybody to help him.
I kind of feel like he just stole all this from like Princess Zelda's castle.
Probably.
Yeah,
Well,
just like,
she did basically say that he had been working on the house. She didn't mention anybody else.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we're going by what she said,
Yeah,
we
well, that's
can
what I'm
only
saying
assume-
is that
Yeah.
she never really said anybody else was helping him, so we're just like, well, I guess he built it himself in like a month.
A man of many talents.
Like, too many.
Done.
I lost my place.
Yeah, same. Okay. When I reached the top, I noticed there were 5 doors. 4 were empty and 1 furnished. The one that was furnished was our bedchamber, the one we'll probably be spending the most time in.
Mm-hmm.
There
We'll
was
never see
an
anything of the
Edwardian
other-
bed, 3 of them for some reason.
Oh no,
I think that's footnote 3.
that's a footnote.
Yeah, that's
Because people don't know what an Edwardian bed is.
Okay.
Yes, let's go down and read the footnote because we don't need to see it, but it'll be more annoying redundancy.
Okay, sure. An Edwardian bed is a large oaken Renaissance-style bed with a canopy above the bed with silk curtains that drape over the sides of the bed, giving it a private romantic setting. Oh, didn't know that. Anyway.
So-
you know.
Yeah, except that's
Shining
not how you
star,
spell
floating
Renaissance.
rainbows across the sky.
Yeah.
That's not how you spell Renaissance, and you could have just said a canopy bed with drapes.
Mm-hmm.
That's too complicated for her. It doesn't sound cool enough.
With beautiful white silk sheets and pillows.
So he is
wooden-
also Taylor.
So he's an embroiderer now too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Link
Oh
has
my God!
many,
Once again, we
many
need to
talents.
send this. We need to send this idea to Miyamoto as well. We need to send Legend of Zelda: Link's Embroidery Quest. That would be the best game ever.
And then you
Tingle
have
can
a
help
mini
him.
game about learning how to sew a piece of cloth. And it's the most annoying thing ever. It makes a lot of players rage quit.
Exactly. Like Navi will be the tutorial character.
Yes.
Like Navi will be featured in a 5-hour tutorial.
listen! This is how you sew shit! Listen!
I don't even have hands, so this will take a while. Okay. Silk curtains line the window and a wardrobe closet
Wait.
side of the room. That makes
For
no
all
sense,
her
but I'm
robe
glad they
lords.
care about them.
Award
A wardrobe.
Actually, this is almost done, so I'll just finish it off.
Okay.
Bring it home.
That's what she said.
So, overjoyed. I was so overjoyed with the sight that when Link came up from behind. Wait, am I reading this wrong? I was so overjoyed with. It's even worse than how I read it. I was so overjoyed with the sight that when Link came up behind me, I threw my arms around him.
Finally
And
used
killed
the
him.
right through.
Oh my God!
The
You get a
burger
golden
death. It was
star.
everywhere.
Link's Queen, you get a golden star. And I'm gonna shit right on your golden star. Congrats.
No,
It's
it
not
comes from her
sanitary.
golden star.
Told him I loved him and kissed him passionately. I knew that this was the place we were going to raise our family, the best possible place where your kids could get lost forever. and become Stalfos.
Because I don't really care about them. I just
That would be
I
a
just have
good
birthing
story
fetish.
compared to this.
It would be a good story compared to this.
By
The
the way,
place
I just have a birthing fetish, so I don't really care about the kids I have. Just as long as I have them.
Just as long as I can pop them out in as rapid succession as possible.
Oh God. The place I was going to spend the rest of my life in. Forever.
You'll never leave? That sounds like that sucks.
Link had given me a beautiful gift. A gift of love.
You know, this story kind of puts this idea in my mind of like a Wii game, you know, and you have the Wii remote and you're controlling Link, and he has a lot of very lonely days where you just have to sort of stroke the Wiimote in space before you know, he just loses himself in the Lost Woods and just does that, and then nothing comes of it, and he cries, and he knows he has to go home to Jenna, and then he has to like craft something new every day because they've got to furnish those other rooms even though nobody uses them, and
That sounds like some sort of creepypasta game or something.
it's so sad.
It
you know,
does sound like a creepypasta
Please
game.
somebody make it. That would be the best thing ever.
Yes.
Like, if anyone has any programming knowledge, you have to make this. Or I will hunt you down and force you to make it.
We'll
Wow.
do it gunpoint.
Poor Link just can't get off for himself anymore, and he's sad, and he doesn't take any joy in anything anymore, and he sees other adventurers going around, and he regrets rushing into a relationship with Jenna and doesn't really understand why he did, and then when he starts to think about it, his head hurts, and he realizes that something's wrong, and that like there's some sort of horrible magic, and he goes and tries to find the Great Fairy, and the Great Fairy is like, well, you know what's happened, don't you? And he's like, no, and she says, well, you know, Jenna is evil, and she
You need
is
to destroy the
insufferable."
ring.
Yeah.
Throw it into Death Mountain or something.
She's actually Sauron.
Destroy
run
the
away.
ring, but she's talking about the cock ring that she put around his dick, and he's like, I didn't even know it was there, and she's like, well, of course you didn't know it was there. It's fucking enchanted. I'm a fairy. I can see this shit. You should have had more sense. So he finally destroys the ring, and his beautiful wife was actually a Stalfos the whole time, and
Yes. Man.
That would be horrible.
I want to read that story now.
That would be horrible finding out that you've been boning a Stalfos.
boning a
Compared
Stalfos.
to actually boning the canon Jenna, that sounds kind of awesome. Then again, so
Boning a
does everything.
Stalfos. I see what you did there.
Actually, I kind of forgot what they were. I was thinking they were the zombie screaming things.
No.
No, those
but
are
a reded
redeads.
would be-
Oh, okay.
Would still be preferable to Jenna.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll pretty much do it. I think they already took Link's virginity long before
That is-
Jenna got a
that
chance.
is
I thought that was
probably
Master
correct.
Hand, though.
Master Hand.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
Master
I
Hand.
have the wrong name. I haven't played a Zelda game
Wallmaster.
ever.
You're thinking of
Yeah, see,
Wallmaster.
Master Hand-
Oh yeah,
Oh.
the Wall Masters. God, those things are annoying.
Master Hand was the cure for Link's long, lonely stretches.
Oh.
Provided to him by Ganon. And then Jenna interfered.
I would really rather see Ganon nail Link than Jenna. I'd rather see anybody nail Link than Jenna, I think.
Ruto, where are you? We need you to stop this right now.
Please, Ruto, please. We beg you.
Ugh.
Please embrace him with your fishy glory.